Now, what have you got on Master Spring?
Nothing
Mara,
as such. Well, I mean...
Mara, get something on him or I'll have something on you.
What's that, boss?
Oh, little piece of paper with something written on it about you.
Come on, boss. What's the bit of paper? What does it say about me?
Oh, it gives your gross annual salary, deductions, tax allowances, etc., etc. P45, Mara. You're P45. Case for yes and a case for no. And I would like to thank particularly Charles McCreevy and to thank on the other side, of course, Gerard Collins, our Minister for Foreign Affairs. I'd like to thank them both for their and indeed Ray Burke, who I think has been very, very reasonable in this case. I thank everybody.
And we'll have more news from that Fianna Fáil meeting as soon as possible. But for now, give your vote of confidence to BB. Well, last Tuesday I spoke to Robert Maxwell on the phone and invited him on the show, and he was very excited by the prospect. Ach, tá sé marv a nish, so that's that. Well, it was very difficult to find a replacement guest who had quite the same enormous waistline. So instead, we have not one, but two marvellous guests on the show tonight, and at the same time too. So a special double helping of applause for Pat O'Connor and Pat O'Connor. Sit down here, the two of you. Oh! One on either side, isn't that cozy? Well, I don't know which of you to talk to first. So, casting your votes, boys, must have been a very special thrill for you. Pat, you first.
Well, usually we take it in turns to vote. First I go in, then it will be my turn. Or sometimes the other way around.
Oh, that really sounds like fun. A lot of people get very serious about voting and all that, but Bert Ogilvy seemed to have a sense of humour about it all. I'd say you laugh a lot, do you?
We do when our man gets in, baby.
And why wouldn't your man get in with such an imaginative approach to our voting system? Turning to you now, Pat, is this imagination shown in all aspects of Fianna Fáil politics?
Indeed it is, baby. I always say it to Pat. We're worth two of any members of Fine Gael.
Especially at election time, Naka. Well, all I can say is I'm spoilt for choice here tonight. By crack Intagogan, won't we, a stores? But tell us now, is the rumour true that in fact there are also two Charlie Hohies?
That's right, yeah. The one who met Bernie Cal.
And the one who didn't. Well, that explains everything, doesn't it? And two Michael O'Kennedys. Is that possible?
Yeah, yes, baby. The one with no brains at all. And the one with no brains at all.
Well, Doc Wilshire, extraordinary. Any others we should know about?
Well, there are two Gerard Collinses.
Yes, of course, we can all see that. And the vote of confidence motion, lads. How do you think it will go?
Oh, Charlie will win. 2-1.
Oh, go Holland. But let's not dwell on the problems of Fianna Fáil. Instead, Anocht, let's celebrate two of its heroes, Pat O'Connor, August Pat O'Connor, who represent Istoi Lumsa, the secret of Fianna Fáil's success. And next week, Rini Ursula, watch carefully as I'll be presenting BB and the Late Late Show at the same time. Slán and Slán. Goodbye, Slán.
Mrs. Tunney, where, oh, there you are now. Are you comfortable, Mrs. Tunney?
You can call me Biddy, nurse. Everybody else does.
All right, Biddy. Now you just rest yourself and get better. How did you do that at all?
I thought I saw a homosexual at the bottom of my garden interfering with one of the gnomes, and I just took the shears to him, so I did. And besides, I cannot lie here in bed when my boy Charles is in trouble. I have to go and chair his meeting, so I do. They just won't stop picking on him.
Oh, no, you don't. You have to stay here, Biddy, and get better.
Not when my Charles needs me.
Sure, you're hardly fit to walk.
I'll be all right. Just throw me that pair of surgical support hose, will you? That's right, the navy ones. Once they have me tights on, I'm fine.
That's grand. Here,
They're
put
great
your
for the
foot in.
varicose veins, so they are.
There's a desperate ladder in that
God,
one
my
there.
budgets
I'm
are
go-
playing up
that's-
again.
now,
Thank
just
God
give
for
it a
Dr.
push.
Scholl is all
That's
I
right.
say.
I'm gonna
Oh,
put
look,
it up.
look,
That's
the
right.
heel is
Up
after coming
around
off
the
it.
waist.
I just dab it with some of the... Hand me that dentifix. It's
There
very
you
handy
go
for
now,
fixing
yeah.
that sort of
Come on,
thing.
I want to straighten the seam
Ah,
and
look,
those.
I'm after
Yeah.
spilling the Ovaltine last night.
Look,
All
would you
over.
not wait for the enema, Biddy?
You are not going to put a rubber tube in my what's-it. How dare you? And me going to speak through it this morning.
Oh,
You may travel with care if you come from Kildare, Sean Power, Charles McCreevy and all. I'm the chairwoman. Note, there'll be no secret vote. With Biddy Tony, the pride of the doll. Me boys, Biddy Tony, the pride of the doll. Merciful are my feet.
Right, Johnny, baby. Sit down there till we have a look at how you did this week. How long have you been the leader of the party? That's right, 1 year. Now, this week you called PJ Mara a professional hitman. Remember? Laugh twice if you mean yes, laugh once if you mean no. Now then, we didn't say too much in question time on Wednesday, did we? Did we? That's right, we did not. How many in the gang of 4? That's right, just testing if you're awake at all. I don't know what we're going to do with you. Do you know what you're like? You remind me of my teaching days when there'd be some big loserman from Intersect trying to hang around with the fellas doing the leaving and trying to be as smart as the senior lads. But somehow everything he says comes out all wrong. Isn't that right? You're an awful big gormless lump. I don't know what you're like at all. We got rid of Al because he had no common touch. He was too clever. And we got you, but you're too thick. Guess we went to the other extreme. Al wouldn't kiss the babies, and the babies won't kiss you. I don't know what to do with you at all. How many chances have we of winning an election under you? That's right. Slim and all. Think it's time we started looking for a new leader.
My 4 green fields will bloom once again.
Will bloom once again. Indeed they will. Kathleen Houlihan here, as always, with IRA hospital requests. A special word now for all the active service units in Crossmaglen from your local general hospital. Yous haven't been up to bomb us in a long time, lads, say all the patients in St. Bridget's ward, and they're wondering why you're ignoring them. So wise the bop and catch yourselves on, wee lads. Meanwhile, some victims of the bombing campaign have got together in their local hospital to rename their ward the Jerry Adams Memorial Ward as a wee gesture of thanks for what's been done to them. 3 cheers for the armed struggle, they say, and would we please play A Nation once again? Well, of course, we're always delighted to play that tune so dear to all our hearts. And this time we'd like to include in our request any of the lads are going out this weekend in the bitter cold to plant bombs in hospitals throughout the province. And all you patients lying there feeling miserable and sick, don't worry. Sure, you never know when the IRA will come along with a wee surprise for you. And before you know it, you'll find yourself on IRA hospital requests.
The latest from the special Fianna Fáil meeting there. And joining me now from the courts is Tomás McGrory, who has been monitoring developments in the sensational paternity case down there. Now, Tomás, tell us what the court heard this afternoon.
Well, Miles, this indeed is an intriguing case of alleged paternity. Before the court was Mr. Gerard Collins, a 64-year-old man from Abbeyfield, County Limerick. And the other party involved in the paternity was not referred to by name, but simply the initials FF.
And now, what exactly happened, Tomás?
Well, it appears that earlier this week, Mr. Collins met FF in Brewery, a small rural village, at a party, or party meeting to be more precise.
And what took place?
Well, Miles, apparently Mr. Collins suggested that FF needed a father figure.
Which FF took to mean Mr. Collins himself?
Well, this again is not clear, Miles. Mr. Collins would not appear to have a father figure. In fact, it's more like a mother-to-be figure. But what is clear is that FF certainly believes that it was propositioned.
And what led to this belief, Tomás?
Apparently, Miles, Mr. Collins, who was described in court by his defence as a traveller and by the prosecution as a tinker, was found curb crawling beside FF and offered her sweets to get into the car, an estate car as it turned out.
And how was this overture received?
Well, while waiting for a reply from FF, Mr. Collins apparently ate the sweets himself and tried to pass off the wrappers.
So what of this man, Gerard Collins?
Well, Miles, FF found this a client too far, so to speak, and found him rather repulsive and indeed laughed heartily at the notion of having anything to do with him.
And did this deter him in any way?
No, Miles, despite the shrieks of laughter, he proceeded to remove an item of clothing.
An item of clothing?
Yes, Miles, his hat, which he removed and proceeded to throw into the ring. And it was at this stage that a member of the Garda Vice Squad in an unmarked ice cream van confronted Mr. Collins, and despite the efforts of the Garda and 2 colleagues, indeed, to restrain him, Mr. Collins attacked the van, eating no less than 5 large cones, the Ripple bottle and a box of flakes for the 99s. And it was at this stage, and the Justice said that this is what he took a particularly stern view of, it was at this stage that Mr. Collins bit the Garda on the penis.
Wednesday morning. Dear Geordie, the heat is on. Boss wants the goods on Springer. It's as if me ghoulies are in a mangle and the boss keeps turning the handle. I try to change the subject. There you go, boss. Do you want a bit of voice now?
Easy with the water, don't drown it.
Oh, yeah. Well, speaking of which, boss, it was terrible about that big fat bastard, wasn't it?
Oh, what has Collins done now?
I know, I meant Robert Maxwell.
Oh, indeed. Sceptre and crown must tumble down, and in the dust be equal made. Behold, Mara, how are the mighty fallen?
Overpowered, huh?
Mara!
Sorry.
No, you see, he didn't know how to wear power.
Oh, God, no.
Maxwell didn't.
No.
Megalomaniac.
Yeah.
Power tripper.
Definitely.
A bully, Mara. He thought his shite came out in ploughing bags.
He did that, boss. He did indeed.
I have no time for these brash, dictatorial, pompous, vain little Hitlers.
Oh, God, no.
He's an Egypt, Mara. From my nautical experience, do you know what that accident sounds like to me?
What's that, boss?
Sounds like he was pissed, Mara.
Oh, God forbid, yes.
A lot of maritime mishaps are down to that old enemy drink. Hold on. That's it.
What, boss?
That's it.
What?
Where was Spring last night?
I don't know, boss.
Oh, God be with the days that I had my own Shawnee and Justice. I could have had the branch tail him. I'd not now be struggling for info on old Butterfingers.
Look, I don't get it, boss.
You never do, Mara. If we could, if we could put Master Spring in or next or near that yacht last night.
What, boss?
Someone must have pushed Maxwell, Mara. If we could just raise the suspicion.
I know, Jesus, boss. You take it easy. No, you're...
The Robert Maxwell I knew. Well, to me he was always a large man, larger than life. In fact, very fat indeed. Obese, actually. Yes, the Robert Maxwell I knew was an obese man. I was always struck by the obesity of him. But of course he had other qualities. He was not satisfied merely to be fat, no. He was, rich, very, very, very wealthy. Stinking rich, rolling in it. Whenever I met Robert Maxwell, I remember always thinking money. Pots and pots of money. So, fat and rich, it's true. But was this the sum total of Robert Maxwell's qualities? I say no. For he was also modest. No, that's not quite the right word. Modest doesn't describe him spot on. A better description would be, perhaps, not modest. Yes, that's nearer. He was not modest. In fact, he was arrogant, or perhaps even megalomaniac. Yes, I think that's closer to the soul of the man. That's a better word than modest. Megalomaniac. So, the Robert Maxwell I knew then was a very special kind of person. An enormously fat, filthy rich megalomaniac. We shall all miss him very much. And now the responsorial psalm. The response is another day older and deeper in debt. You get 16 tons, and what do you get? Response,
Another day older and deeper in debt.
Why is everyone clueless? Now, if there's any more of this rowdiness, you're out the door. We're trying to do some work in here. Honestly, that 3FF class are always fighting and making noise. Is there no one in charge in there? Now, wrong ahead. I have all your homework here, and I'm delighted to see that everyone is making an effort. Christopher, Christia's store. Now, I know you're trying very hard, but those sums still aren't coming out quite right, are they? I still can't figure out where you get that extra £2 million from. Dermot, Gohanawa, your letter writing is improving all the time. Now, Kieran Og, your essay on me and my daddy was very touching, and you're a very lucky little boy to have such a generous daddy, and I hope that you realise that. He'd get my vote of confidence any time. Agus Bernie a fatta. You wrote a delightful essay about you and your imaginary friend, my pal Charlie. Such a charming flight of fancy, and it gets very high marks indeed. But the prize-winning essay this week goes to that good boy at the back. You know who it is. Stand up there now, Cree, and read us your essay called A Day in the Life of Daisy the Cow.
A day in the life of Daisy the Cow.
Oh, much louder than that, Astor.
Yeah, a day in the life of Daisy the Cow.
Shout it out of Uhalwa. I want everyone to hear. Now, it's nothing to be ashamed of, is it?
My name is Daisy. I'm a very busy cow. I bet I am the busiest cow in Ireland, north and south. That's because I spend most of my time travelling to the north, then coming south, then travelling north again. My master wakes me early in the morning and puts me in a truck with lots of other cows. Some are new, but most of them are old friends who I meet on the truck every day. I know most of their names, and they know most of my names. I'm not always called Daisy, you see. It depends on where I am. In Oma, I'm called Bluebell, and in Clones, I'm called Buttercup. And in Carrickmore, they don't call me anything, they just kick me out of one truck and into another. Every time I travel, I feel like a new cow. Overall, it's a busy life, but I enjoy meeting people, and the more I travel, the more I make my master happy, and that's good. As my mommy says, at least it keeps me out of the abattoir.
Dear Geordie, doing me best to get something on spring. Trying to retrieve me ghoulies from the mangle. Mara! Boss, listen. I have some real dirt on spring, boss. I really have. Now, listen, what about that car crash in Kerry some years ago? State car, show band singer, Uzis?
One of ours, Mar. That was one of ours.
Oh, I see.
Forget about spring for the moment.
Okay, boss.
There's a motion of no confidence.
Oh, God, no.
We've got to get something on Mr. Reynolds.
Yeah, but
time has come to take him out.
Yeah, but how, boss? What'll I use? Wherein lies the man's Achilles heel?
Where else? If you were trying to get something on you or I, where would you start?
Green Court, Telecom, NCB, Helicopters, Kinsale.
No, in general.
I know, boss. No, not that.
Precisely, of course.
The Nat King Cole.
The same. The Nat L'Amour.
But boss, Albert's never been offside. Well, not that I know of. But now that you mention it, now all those ballrooms in the 60s...
We need someone to seduce old Fido Food.
Someone to seduce our shining knight.
Our whining shite. We need a loyal party activist, if such there exists. One he couldn't resist.
Let's think now. Hey, boss. Sheila de Valera, a fine woman.
Mara, I'm talking about sex, not sumo.
No, really, boss. Now, looked at in a certain light from a distance with some angel dust. I'm telling you can't tell.
Mara, she looks like Konishki or Pluto Hagar or one of those fat boys. No, not sumo de Valera. What we need for Reynolds... some silky-skinned enchantress, some dewy-cheeked nubile nymph, some wan and winsome woman, some lithe and luscious lass.
Yes, boss, you talk prettier than a $20 whore.
Mara.
I'm sorry, boss.
Yeah, well, I don't think that's going to work. No,
Well, it's all gone very quiet at the special Fianna Fáil meeting at the moment. Not even our hidden mics are picking up anything. So while we're waiting for developments, let's fill in the time, as it were, with another mic in the arts show.
All right, and yes, indeed. Now, Australian culture is coming to the fore throughout the world at the moment. I myself, of course, did an extensive, nay, exhaustive, and indeed rather tiring investigation of it all in my recent TV series. Those were the days, yeah. Winning streak, how are you? So it gives me special delight to welcome someone who could probably be described as my cultural equal, Kylie Minogue. Welcome to Ireland, Kylie.
Thank you, Mike. I'm so excited.
Oh, well, I'm fairly excited myself.
Are you Irish guys?
Yeah.
You know, when I saw Ben-Hur and
Ben-Hur,
the
yeah.
10 Commandments, as a
Yeah.
child, I always wanted to visit your country.
Did you? Of course you did. And why wouldn't you? Now, Kylie, there's been a lot of whispering, gossip, if not actual scandal lately about you changing to a more highly sexed image.
Yeah, I mean, Charlene in Neighbours was going nowhere. I thought maybe she could open up a Parisian bordello on Ramsay Street, but the writers weren't keen.
You really weren't they? Well, I must say I'm keen. I mean, it sounds very, all very artistic. So
Yeah.
instead it's pastures new and a whole new look also. I really do like the fishnet.
Bra?
Yes, exactly. My very thoughts. And of course the blue sequined, may I just...
And move on to the subject of my future plans?
Yeah. Absolutely. We're dying to know, Kylie, so tell us all.
Well, I'm planning a duet with Ted Kennedy. We're going to sing Bridge Over Troubled Waters. I want my new album to be very political, you
Yeah.
see. You might remember that my early work helped to destabilise the Khmer Rouge regime.
Indeed, Khmer Rouge. And of course you're wearing some at the moment, if I'm not mistaken. Who could forget? And you'll be editing your new video using our very own Doyle facilities, I believe. Donny Cassie was telling me that it was quite a hair-raising experience for him.
Well, to tell you the bald truth, Mike, it was
Yeah.
thrilling for me to make music with real political powerhouses.
Sure.
In fact, just to meet Foster and Allen,
And Alan,
two
yeah.
of your leading political figures, I know it was just overwhelming.
Yeah. Really? Well, finally, Kylie Minogue, actress, singer, political activist. Tell me about the bondage gear.
Well, as you know, Mike,
Yeah.
for years now, it's been obvious that I appeal to young girls
Indeedy.
and I appeal to old men.
Count
but
me in.
my ambition is to appeal to old men to whom young girls appeal.
Oh, indeedy. Oh.
Mike? Mike? Oh, I think he's fainted, guys.
So, Mara, it's come to this, a fourth challenge.
Yes, boss.
We will adopt the usual procedure.
Certainly, boss. Lobbying, canvassing, head counting. that
No, Mara, the
No.
usual procedure.
Yes, sir.
Threaten them. Threaten the bastards. Scare them. Put the fear of God into them. Get every little sleeving go by the wall. Every simpering, snivelling, sneering, sniggering, drooling village idiot.
You mean O'Kennedy?
And the rest.
Oh.
Tell them, even if it is a secret vote, I will know. I always know. Of
course you do.
My famous, awesome, baleful stare will look deep into their souls, and I will know. When they look at me, Mara, when they look into my eyes, they make rabbits faced by headlights look confident. It's time to make the old black magic, the hockey voodoo. Beat the drums, Mara. Put the fear of Papa Doc Hockey into them. Turn the tauntauns on them, Mara. I'll make them all zombies.
We'll accept Woods.
Of course, Woods attained that status years ago.
Yeah, well, still now, you fired Albert. That put the fear of God in them, huh?
It's not God I want them to fear, PJ. It's me.
Same thing, boss.
I'll tell you what'll frighten them. I'll tell you what'll send them scurrying back into the warren.
What?
3 little words. Don't bother writing them down. You won't forget them.
3 little words. I'm listening, boss.
Finance Minister Flynn.
Right, Jesus, let's see now. Votes against Dermot Morgan, right? Holly McGlynn, that's another against. Owen Rowe, no, we've lost him. We might get him back to, we'll see. Let's see, Dermot Morgan and Jerry Stembridge. No, they wrote the motion, I'll forget them. Lockie Butler. Oh, no, he'll help us engineer the victory, yeah, I think we can count on him. Let's see now, Director of Elections, Gerard Stembridge. Shaggy, we'll start again.
Recorded at Real Good Studios Dublin, Scrap Saturday is from Q Productions for RTE.